Welcome to this video where I'm gonna explain exactly how high ticket sales completely changed my life. How it took me from being a broke and insecure kid, living with my parents back in Sweden and failing so many different online businesses that I thought that making money online wasn't even possible for me to do. To now get to a point where yesterday I made $4,500 from my laptop taking some Zoom calls. I have complete freedom. I can travel wherever I want in the entire world, whenever I want. I have time, location, and financial freedom. And I set myself up financially for the rest of my life in my early 20s, which is kind of crazy to say, but I've gotten to this point and it's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of challenges that I've gone through that I want to share with you in this video and share my entire story. So that if you're someone who wants to do more in your life, you want to take a different path from like the traditional 9-to-5 mediocre path, this is going to be extremely valuable for you. Hearing my story and hearing everything that I went through, and I'm going to drop some gems as well that's going to be extremely important for your journey as well. So let's get into this. Where everything started for me, I was a very normal kid growing up in a pretty, I guess you could say, like small town in the north of Stockholm in Sweden. Grew up, normal kid, very like traditional, normal parents working 9-to-5s, making between like $3,000 to $5,000 per month. Grew up and going to normal school, and the first kind of memory that I had, like the first time I thought about like I'm gonna do something different than most people, was when I was in school. You know, I was looking at my teachers and my friends, and I just felt like growing up I didn't like fit into, because my friends were talking about like I want to go into university, I want to study this, I want to go to this school and like learn about engineering or become a lawyer. I was like, I do not see myself doing any of these things. I didn't know why, but I just didn't see myself taking any of these different paths for some reason. And when I was younger, I used to be like a professional swimmer. So I used to swim like 8, 9, 10 times a week. I used to swim a lot and train very hard. So that was like my main focus when I was younger. I was very like dialed in on that. But as I got older, I started realizing more and more, like shit, like I'm getting close to a point where I'm gonna finish school soon. And if I don't like figure something out, I'm gonna end up in a 9-to-5. And I was just scared of the idea. Like I was genuinely scared of the idea of going to work for some like fat boss, having to commute back and forth. If you know anything about Sweden, like the winters are pretty like boring or like depressing, to be honest. Like it's very cold, there's no light pretty much whatsoever. I just didn't want that whatsoever. I want to be able to be in a warm place whenever I want, travel, have freedom, like all that stuff, you know. So what did I do? I went on social media. I started finding like these different gurus selling courses, mentorships, and things like make money online. I started trying like all kinds of different things. You know, I looked into drop shipping, looked into affiliate marketing, looked into an agency, and I bought a course eventually like how to start an agency. And I was just very like kind of lost. You know, there's so many different ways to make money online. So I saw the agency, I saw the drop shipping, I started like dabbling a bit with all those different things. And I started making like a little bit of money, made like $100 from like the agency. I signed some clients for the agency, you know. But that was kind of like my first realization, like the first big lesson on my journey. Is like I got into online business. I was a beginner, I was young, like the only thing I had inside of me was just like a desire to do more. I had zero skills, zero experience. I was pretty well spoken growing up. Like I just liked talking. I was very like certain and very able to convince and like persuade people. So naturally, as I got into starting a marketing agency, like the traditional running Facebook ads for like local businesses, that type of business model, I was able to sign up a lot of clients. You know, so I bought a course, which was really scary to do. I spent like all the money that I had set up. I had all that money put into stocks. But I was like, yeah, stocks is gonna get me like a 8% per year return, but if I invest this into starting a business, I might get like 100x return. So I invested into a course to learn the marketing agency stuff, sign up some clients, loved doing sales. I was able to hop on calls, close people. I didn't know it at the time, but none of those people ended up actually paying me, you know, because I was just like closing people on like performance-based deals, and I was like, I'm the best at sales, I know like how to do all this shit. People came in, I didn't make any money from those clients whatsoever. And this was a long period of my life where I was running this agency and also dabbling with some other stuff, with trading, etc. on the side. I was just chasing the money, you know. I was doing the agency solely to get freedom, solely to hit 10K per month. No idea about skills, no idea about like what actually makes you money. I was just like grinding with the business, and I was broke. Like I got clients through the door. I made like $100 sometimes from like some sign-up fees that I would charge people, or if I luckily got someone results, but most of these clients got zero results because I sucked at actually getting results for clients. And this was like the first thing that I realized, is that a business is a combination of skills. I actually had a conversation during this time with Alex Hermosis' neighbor. I found that guy on social media. I found him through I found Alex, and then I stalked down because Alex talked about the fact that he had a neighbor who was 20 years old, which is the same age as me, who was trying to start a business. Alex told him, no, you need to learn a skill. You shouldn't start a business. So I was like, this guy probably has some insights for me. I feel like I'm stuck in my life right now. This guy's probably been in a similar place. I'm gonna need to find this guy. So somehow I found him on Instagram, DM'd him, and he told me literally the exact same thing that Alex had told him, which was bro, the reason why you're stuck with the agency right now is just you're a beginner. You have zero skills, because I was 17 or 18 at the time. And you're trying to make money from the most difficult way possible. It's you're trying to learn how to book appointments, how to close clients, how to run ads for clients, so copywriting and marketing, at least 5 to 7 different skills. You're trying to learn all these different things at the same time. Obviously that is hard. Obviously there's a lot of beliefs that you need to shift as a beginner to get to that point. That's what he told me. And I was like, yeah, this makes sense. So what do you do instead? He's like, yeah, you go all in on mastering and learning one single skill. If you learn one skill and you learn a skill of selling, you will have the most fundamental base to the tallest building. That's what he said, is if you want to build a tall building and make a lot of money in your career, you need a strong base. He's like, that base is sales. When you know how to sell, you can communicate, you can lead people, you can get people to give you money. Everything business becomes easy after doing that. You get connections and everything. So I was like, this makes a lot of sense. But here was the thing. I had the belief inside of my own head, because I had grown up seeing all these gurus and all people making money online and traveling and getting freedom, and everyone that I saw was they're running a business. So I was like, I am gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm not gonna work for anyone else. And that held me back massively, because I was like, I'm not gonna do high ticket sales. I'm not gonna do sales. I'm not gonna get a sales role, because that is taking a step back. That's me working for someone else. I am my own business owner. That ego held me back so freaking much, because that was about 6 months where he had told me this stuff. I didn't take action on it, which was stupid. So don't make that mistake. Where I thought to myself, I'm better. I can figure this out, Which the truth is, I could probably have figured it out, but it would take me a lot of time to learn how to sell, market, fulfill all these different things on my own. It would take me way longer time to get to a point where I was making 10K a month that way, compared to what I ended up doing, which is getting into just learning sales, mastering one skill, landing one client, and then building myself up that way. So that was the first big mistake that I really made. It's I didn't realize how true it was, and I didn't listen to someone who was further ahead of me. I thought that I knew better than him, which is just pure ego. I was I'm gonna be a business owner. I'm this 18-year-old kid from Sweden who thinks that I'm better than this other guy he was making 20, 30K a month, and he was learning from Alex Hermosis. That was his mentor. So I was yeah, I know better than this guy, which was obviously retarded. Then and ended up eventually, because the agency wasn't making any money at all, my parents started bro, you need to figure stuff out, because I was living at home and not making any money whatsoever after having finished school. So they were either you figure something out, you start making money from this, you get a job, or you go into college, go into university. I didn't want to do any of those different things. I couldn't see myself in university. I couldn't see myself getting a job. So I was I have to just kind of listen to this guy. I guess I have to humble myself and learn one skill. So I ended up getting into high ticket sales, and that decision, it was not sunshine and rainbows. A lot of times on the channel I talk about how I landed a first role and how I made my first 10K in about 3 months of starting this. And that might sound like it was super easy and stuff, but the truth is there was a lot of challenges, a lot of stuff that I had to go through. I can't tell you how many times when I landed my first high ticket sales role, literally on a daily basis, the stuff that I had to go through of just thoughts that I want to change. I should quit high ticket sales. I'm not meant to do high ticket sales. That was something I thought about 1 to 2 months of starting this industry. I am not meant to do high ticket sales, because it was hard, And I was learning how to actually work hard, how to actually commit to something. And that's something that I think is extremely important to take away from this, because nowadays especially, people are so addicted to dopamine. They go on social media, they do trading, they do gambling, they do looks maxing and peptides and all these different BS things that I don't recommend whatsoever. And the issue with that is people cannot commit to one path and actually just learn to work hard. And that's what I think high ticket sales gave me. That's one of the most important traits that high ticket sales has given me, is ability to focus on one thing and learn how to control your emotions. Because one thing I realized that a mentor told me is that, for example, if someone put you into Elon Musk's shoes right now, you will not be able to handle the stress that he goes through. That is what the journey of entrepreneurship is about. It's learning how to handle the stress, learning how to handle the emotions. That's what I was doing during this time when I was getting to high ticket sales. I learned how to handle these shiny object thoughts, you know? Because on a daily basis, I would wake up and I was like, I'm gonna do an agency again. I'm gonna do trading. I should do this other business model. I saw someone online making more money from this other thing. High ticket sales was difficult. I had to learn new skills. I had to get better. I had to deal with difficult prospects. I had to learn how to actually sell at a high level, not just like sell people in on some like performance-based deals. I had to learn how to close high ticket deals, like 5K, 10K deals up front. It wasn't easy, okay? Anyone who tells you that high ticket sales is like easy job where you just make 10K a month with no effort, they're lying to you. Like you have to actually get good. It requires effort. It's the simplest path to start making money, to be able to make your first like 5, 10K a month, but it requires effort. And that's what I had to go through there. And that's a big thing I want to share with you as well. It's like during that time, I got into my first offer and got into the company, started getting like mentored by business owners, started learning a shit ton, started growing. But it was difficult, especially because I was working for a US company. I'm Swedish, I had a lot of accents. A lot of people think that you can't get into an offer, like a US offer, if you have an accent. You definitely can. I was able to do that. But I had to work a lot, you know. I had people tell me they didn't understand what I was saying because of my accent, you know. So I had to like work through these things and get better at speaking, you know, work away my accent a bit because my English was shit in the beginning. So a lot of things I had to work through. And just like stay on the path, stick to one thing. That's the takeaway I want to take from this. It's like, if you can stick to one thing, if you can focus on one single path, and this is what I realized about during this time, it's like, if I just stick to this path and I stop acting on these thoughts to change, and I do that for the next 2 to 3 years, it's very unlikely I will not be making at least $20,000 a month. Simple as that. If you just stick to one thing, just go deep on that one path, you will win. But most people cannot do that because of your brain. That's what I had to do at this point. I actually have a notebook that's like filled down with like me every single day writing out like, I'm gonna change business model, I'm gonna do this other thing, like ideas and thoughts. It was very, very convincing of why I should quit, why I'm not meant to make money online, why I'm not meant to be in sales. I wrote that shit down every single day. So if you're going through it right now, I want you to just realize that that's normal. That was part of my journey. If I wouldn't have gone through that and just like pushed and stayed on that path, I would not be where I am today. The only reason why I'm here today is because I stuck to the path, even though I had these very, very like emotional thoughts that were extremely convincing me to quit, to change, to go back into 9 to 5. Even when I left Sweden, you know, I left my hometown and I moved halfway across the world to Medellin, Colombia. I had about 4K saved up in my bank account. At that point as well, a lot of times as these very convincing thoughts, you should give up, you should move back into what you were doing before. I got to where I am today because I stuck to it. And what did that path actually look like? What did I actually like do to get to a point where I got into high ticket sales? I landed a role and I started making 10K in about 3 months. I just completely realized that like when I feel uncomfortable, when I had these thoughts of I should give up, I should quit, I should change over to this other business model, or like this is too scary, like, or when it came to like investing, because during this time I invested a lot of times into like mentorship and coaching to learn from people that were better than me in high ticket sales. What did I do to like push through those emotions and this doubt and this fear? Is simply as realizing that the emotions you're feeling scared, uncertain, nervous, whatever it is, that is a sign that you're growing. We have this like programming from a young age. I don't know why it is, but like we just think that when we're scared, it's bad. We need to pull back and we need to like hold off. That was the biggest thing that I had to shift in high ticket sales. High ticket sales is simply about being able to lead other people. And if you want to lead other people in a sales call and like help other people change their life in sales and be a good leader, you need to know how to lead yourself. That was the biggest thing that I shifted, is like realizing that when I'm uncomfortable, when I'm scared, that is when I grow. That's when I make the most progress. And a lot of times when I look back at my journey, the times where I was like the most convinced, like I should give up right now. I remember, for example, when I took my first or like my second sales call, I think it was, I talked to this super difficult prospect, like an American guy. I was like super like ego driven and very like successful person. He was being a dick towards me on the sales call. After that call, I was like, shit, yeah, I'm not meant to do this. I am not like confident enough. I should just like, give up on doing this. But the thing is like, and then I came up with an idea of like, I'm gonna do this other business model instead. I'm gonna become like a media buyer instead of doing sales, which is like retarded, but that's what I thought of at the time, you know? And the thing is like, after I pushed through that, after I realized, okay, no, I'm not gonna change path. I have this thought because right now I'm forced to grow. I'm forced to learn how to handle these type of difficult prospects. I have to learn this. It's not easy, but if I learn it, I'll move forward. And if I quit, if I change, that is like the easy way out. It's gonna be difficult and even harder to start another business at this point. When I realized that, I look back now and I see those were the times where I had the biggest breakthroughs. The times when you're the most like close to giving up and close to changing. That is when you're just about to break through. Because it feels uncomfortable, it feels scary, because you're about to step into a new identity. You're about to step in and get new results and really step into a new level of income, or it's like a new version of yourself. And that comes with the old version of you having a lot of emotions. Like, this might sound woo, but it's been so true on my journey. I realized every single time my income has been going up, it's been because I've stepped through this like invisible barrier. I just like pushed through this barrier of like, I want to quit, I want to change, I should give up, I'm not meant to do this, but I just keep going regardless. I just trust and I stay delusional that I can actually achieve the goal. And I just keep going and end up achieving it. And that's been my journey. And that's how I just like kept moving forward. I started off as an appointment setter in this industry. I became a closer, where I started taking the sales calls myself. Then I grew into sales management. My entire journey has been following the path and just sticking to one single thing, and realizing that if you learn one thing, you go deep on one thing, that is going to give you everything you need to literally achieve whatever you want down the road. But the biggest reason why you've been stuck, why you've been failing, is because number one, you're approaching business by trying to start an entire company and trying to learn everything from scratch. Sales, marketing, fulfillment, you're like mediocre at all these different skills, and you're trying to make money that way instead of focusing on one single skill and actually getting good at something. That's the first thing. And number two is you can't stick to one thing. That's what I wish I could just tell my younger self, like, pick one skill, something that and if you're naturally well-spoken, like I am, and like I was from a young age, and you just like talking to people, like you like having conversations, you like human psychology and influence, get into sales. There's never been more demand than there is right now. Like, all of these companies need sales reps big time. So learn that skill, actually get good at it. Don't just be mediocre, like actually get good at it. And then you stick to the path. Commit to for the next like 1, 2, 3 years. So you're gonna stick to the path. Actually just go deeper on it. And I promise you'll look back and you'll be making so much more money than you thought that you could. But not only that, the connections you get, everything that you will learn, that is gonna put you in a position where you can do so much more. You can start a business and all that stuff down the road. That's why I'm doing this. That's how I got into a point where I now make thousands of dollars per day. I didn't even know that was possible a couple years ago. But I stuck to the path. I went deep on the skills. I got better. I invested into mentorships, learned from people who were better than me, was committed to mastering this one single skill, going deep on it. And that's how I got here. I didn't see this when I started off. When I started my first agency, I didn't know that this was gonna happen. I took action. I jumped out of my comfort zone. I stuck to it, and I trusted the voice inside of my head that I could do more. So I want you to take away that from this video. Like, if just one thing you can take away from this is like, realize that the path aligns as you walk it. That means that you right now need to start walking. So after this video, like, please just like, do something, like take action. Shoot the shot. Just like try something. If you want my help to get into this model, I've helped over 100 guys inside of my one-on-one coaching to learn how to get sales, get into a good role, be able to start making money online, so you can start getting your freedom and learn how to actually do this properly, so you can start making money, be able to leave your hometown, travel, and all that stuff. If you want my help to do this and see how this will look like for you, you can book a call down below this video. We'll talk. I'll see if I can help you. There's no high pressure sales. That's not what I do. Just to talk with you and see if I can actually help you. If you're interested, you can book a call. If not, no worries at all. I hope this was valuable for you hearing my story. And if you have any questions as well for me personally, shoot me a DM on Instagram. But please, be the guy who's actually gonna do something after this. Take action, realize that the fear, stepping out of your comfort zone is exactly what's gonna get you forward. When you walk the path, it aligns. So yeah, that's it for the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow as always in the next one. Take care. Ciao.